I request our beloved head of MBA department, Dr. A.R. Bora, sir, to give welcome address.
Thank you, Deepashri. A very good evening, Dr. Stanley Nwoji.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much, Dr. Bora.
A great morning to all international delegates from Nigerian University, as well as all the participants from India. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome today's resource person, Dr. Stanley Nwoji from Harrisburg University, USA. Welcome, Dr. Stanley. I also welcome my friend, Dr. Vincent Onodugo, Dean, Faculty of Business Administration, University of Nigeria, to grace this international webinar facilitated by him. Welcome, Dr. Vincent. I also welcome our faculty colleagues from Nigeria University, as well as from Harrisburg University. Welcome to our beloved principal, Dr. M.D. Kokate, sir, Vice Principal, Dr. Emma Sangvi, sir, all other respected heads, faculty colleagues, and students from and outside SNJB. A warm welcome to every participant.
Thank you.
Yeah, sir, I take this opportunity to briefly introduce our organization, that is SNJB. It stands for Sri Neminath Jain Brahmacharya Ashram, an educational institution which was established by Mr. Keshavlalji Harakchandji Abad in 1928 at Chandwad, a rural place in Nasik district of Maharashtra state in India. We offer quality education from pre-primary to PhD at our campus. It includes primary and secondary schools, diploma in engineering, pharmacy, undergraduate programs in various disciplines like arts, commerce, science, pharmacy, engineering, and homeopathy. We also offer masters in pharmacy, homeopathy, and management. Around 13,000 students are studying in our SNJB campus, and around 1,000 of students can stay at hostels in our campus. Our MBA program was started in 2010, and we are consistently striving to deliver the best management education to our students. As a part of this endeavor, we organize various programs under our Holistic Development Club for the all-round development of our students as well as faculty members. I would like to thank our management, principal and vice principal, sir, for giving us permission to organize this international event. I would like to offer my gratitude to Dr. Stanley Nwoji for taking out his valuable time from his busy schedule to enlighten the staff and students. A special thanks to Dr. Vincent Onodugo for taking initiative in organizing this webinar. Last but not the least, thanks to all the international delegates and all the participants for attending this webinar. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Stanley Nwoji is a professor of e-business and entrepreneurship at the University of Science and Technology at Harrisburg.
Deepashri, your phone is muted. Kindly unmute your phone.
Okay, sorry, ma'am. Dr. Stanley Nwoji is a professor of e-business and entrepreneurship at the University of Science and Technology at Harrisburg, United States of America. He has been teaching to MBA, MSc, and PhD students for past 15 years in USA. Sir is also a visiting professor at the Faculty of Business, University of Nigeria, Enugu campus. Sir is the co-founder of Smart Intelligent System, a research group in Harrisburg, University of Science and Technology. Dr. Nwoji is pursuing a second PhD in data science at the Harrisburg University of Science and Technology. Today we have pleasure to listen Dr. Stanley, who is going to guide us on different components of business analytics, its application in different ways, and its impact. So with this brief introduction of Sir, I request Professor Stanley to take over the session.
All right, thank you very much. I'm really glad to be here. So let me see if I can share my video so you can see me. I hope everybody's seeing me. All right, thank you so much. Let me see if I can share my screen. This will stop other screen sharing, yes. And let's see if I can share that. Share screen. I think I should share this and put this one there. So I hope you're seeing my screen, please. If you're seeing my screen, you'll be seeing the business analytics and management right there. Please, can somebody tell me if you're seeing my screen?
Still unable to see your screen, sir.
Unable or able?
Unable.
We have not seen it.
You have not seen my screen. Wow.
No.
Yes.
Let's see. So it says share screen. Are you seeing it now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
But my screen is showing that you're seeing it, so I don't know what's going on.
Auntie. Auntie.
I'm sharing, I don't know. So are you seeing my screen now?
No, sir.
Oh, what's going on? I'm clicking on share the screen and I'm putting it where it should be, but it's not showing. One participant can share, multiple participants can share simultaneously, only holds all participants. So let me see. Share.
It has started now, sir. We can see your screen, sir.
Yes, now. Sir. Now it is visible.
We can now see it.
You can now see it. Okay, thank you
Sir.
very much. All right, I'm very glad you can now see my screen. Thank you all very much for this opportunity for me to speak to you on business analytics and management. This is a very, very interesting topic, but let me just introduce myself. I am an assistant professor of business and entrepreneurship in Harrisburg University of Science and Technology. Our university is a University of Science and Technology, so we do a lot of science work. I'm also a visiting professor to the Faculty of Business, University of Nigeria, Enugu campus. And this is a very interesting area for me because one of the things that I do is to teach business intelligence and business analytics to my master's students, and then at the PhD level to teach teach this and also entrepreneurship and be able to sit on their committees to ensure that they are able to come up with solutions to the problems that they have. So today, I'll be looking at business analytics and management. I'll start with conceptual issues. In these conceptual issues, I'll be kind of coming up with definitions of what data analytics is, business analytics, and then coming up with management. Of course, being people that are so good at this would be more of a reminder, but I would have to be making connections that is going to help you understand a lot more about business analytics and management. So let's start with definitions. When you think about data analytics, you should think about the process of analyzing big data. In today's world, especially in this industry 4.0, there's a whole lot of data that is moving into organizations. And these data sets are very humongous. So we talk about the volume of the data. We also talk about the velocity with which this data comes in. And we also see the variety of the data and the veracity of the data. So volume means that the data is very huge. I was just talking to my students today just about the data that comes from web. And we were amazed that today we have 1.7 billion websites. If you multiply that by 4, that is about 5.8 billion web pages at least. So you can imagine the volume of data that just comes out of the web. So, and web is just one of those sources that we get our data. So data analytics has to do with the process of analyzing big data. And we have a reason for doing that. We want to find insights, information, trends, predictions, so that we can solve business problems. However, even though we talk about traditional data analytics, which can be applied to medicine, to manufacturing, to all kinds of areas, our interest today is business analytics. So data analytics is a discipline that is focused on extracting insights from data, including that we select the data, we analyze the data, collect it, organize it, store it, and then use some tools and techniques to make sure that we analyze all of this, some of which I'm going to talk about. And for you to do data analytics, you have to have concepts from computer science, programming, statistics, mathematics, and artificial intelligence. So that is something that, you know, if you're going to be good at data analytics, you must start thinking about that. So it's not just the qualitative kind of business studies. In the industry 4.0, we are moving towards computer science, programming, statistics, artificial intelligence, mathematics, and visualization, and so many other areas that would be useful in data analytics. So sometimes people confuse data analytics with data analysis. So it is important for us to make a difference of that. So what I want to say here is that data analytics is a subset, data analysis is a subset of data analytics. And when we talk about the analysis instead of the analytics, we are talking about selecting, extracting, cleansing, transforming, storing, and modeling data so that we can visualize, optimize, predict, and draw needed conclusions. And again, data analytics, therefore, will include data analysis and all the tools and the techniques used in doing data analysis. So that is very important. I'm hearing back some things. Can we be muted, please? So data analysis, data analytics, therefore, will include data analysis and every tool and technique that we can use in doing data analysis. So this is really important for us to understand. So understand the difference, which means that data analytics has data analysis as a component, but we also include all the tools that are used. Again, some people confuse data analytics with data science. For instance, I'm a data scientist. However, there's a big difference between data analytics and data science. So data analytics is actually a subset or component of data science. So what happens is that the output of data analytics, that is the reports and the visualizations that we have, are actually the beginning of data science, because based on that, we can then make predictions and decisions to solve problems. So that is something we also need to understand. So let's then delve into business analytics and management. So the question here is, what is business analytics? What are the tools? How can the tools be applied? What is management, and how is business analytics related to management? And this is something that every person in a business school or an engineering school must be able to understand. So let's go to business analytics. I've said that business analytics is data analytics in the context of business. So we've introduced data analytics, but when we talk about business analytics, we are kind of contextualizing data analytics in the area of business. So what do we do when we talk about business analytics? First of all, we select, extract, store, and process business data. And this means that when we select, extract, and store, that first of all, we have business data sources. And those sources can come from inside the organization or from outside the organization. And then we store these business data in a data warehouse. And of course, we have a tool we call select, extract, transform, and load. So this SETL tool is used to extract data that we want from the data sources, and then they are put into the data warehouse. In the data warehouse, we have online processing systems or online analytical systems that we can use to normalize and standardize the data. And once that happens, we can then add analytical components to the data in order to understand trends and patterns. So when we add these analytical components, some of them would be for us to understand descriptions of the data, or we can use analytical components to predict what could happen in the future based on the historical data, or we can use these analytical components to prescribe solutions to whatever problems that we saw from the data. So the raw data is really a big problem until we standardize it and normalize it and make sure that we can add the analytical components. So the idea of big data must be very strong if you're going to talk about business analytics. So it's not just about collecting data from 100 people. We're talking about data that can crash a computer system because it's terabytes, and you cannot just analyze them by simplistic statistical models. You have to be able to use even systems that understand the Hadoop system to be able to do all of this. So because of this velocity of data that is coming into our organizations, a lot of us are beginning to say, what can we do with this data? And data analytics is the answer to this. So after selecting, extracting, and storing and processing business data, the next thing is to analyze this business data so that we can identify problems and their causes, and then trends and patterns. Now, the reason we do this is because we are in the industry 4.0 going to industry 5.0, which means that there is an explosion of information systems, management information systems, explosion of data, which we are now putting together even to understand Internet of Things and smart cities and all the rest of them. So we have to make sure that we can analyze this business data then to understand the problems and their causes and trends and patterns. We can also make data-driven business decisions. You know, a lot of times business people who are experts in what they do, they make decisions by intuition. But in a business world that is in a constant state of flux, we can no longer do that because things change. There are emerging things that happen, phenomena that we don't even understand, uncertainties. So we have probabilities, conditional probabilities that must be attached to whatever we're doing in order for us to make decisions. And so if we have situations where people just make decisions based on intuition, then businesses are going to have problems. So we must make data-driven business decisions. And business analytics also talks about using tools for data, whether it's unstructured data or structured data. So we have to use these tools for data mining, for visualization, for predictive insights, optimization, and scenario modeling. So all of these are very important. Now, I am saying that the data that come into our organization, some of them are structured and some of them are unstructured. So the unstructured data that we have is about 85% to 90% of the data that come into our businesses, our organizations. These unstructured data are, bigger than even the structured ones. And when we say unstructured data, we're talking about data that cannot easily be put in the database. For instance, they don't have columns, they don't have rows, and they're just text or web or HTMLs or XMLs or whatever, images, videos, things that, you can't easily analyze. So we must be able to use these tools for data mining or visualization or predictive insights or optimization and scenario modeling. Again, we use business analytics for the next generation technologies such as machine learning, deep learning, data visualization, and natural language queries to help us make business decisions. So this is the kind of thing that we're talking about when we talk about business analytics. So you can see that it is a system that takes into consideration computer science, programming, statistics, optimization models, and all kinds of business knowledge in order for strategic managers to come up with decisions. So strategic management, therefore, is no longer just what we study. You do external analysis, you do internal analysis, you come up with your SWOT analysis, and then you go on and on and on. But we're saying that for us to do these things, then we have to allow intelligent tools to be part of what we are doing. So when we talk about management, I see management from 5 different perspectives. Management can be looked upon as a discipline. In other words, you go to the university and you study management. Personally, when I was doing my MBA, I specialized in management and of course in management science. So you can go to school and you study management. So management can be looked up as a discipline. But management could also be a science. And when we talk about management as a science, we call that management science, which is a branch of management that uses scientific methodologies to make managerial decisions. This is very, very important for us to understand that management is no longer just a qualitative way of study, but it has now become a science that you use scientific methodologies in order to arrive at decisions. So the hypothetical deductive methodologies will be used in order for people to understand what to do in a business world that is always fluctuating. The third way of looking at management is to look at management as an art. That, in other words, experienced managers could use managerial processes to fulfill organizational decisions. So we must be able to look at management as an art. Management could also be a process that combines all organizational resources like people, money, materials, machines, information for the fulfillment of organizational vision. So this area is the popular definition of management. So people see management as a process, but you still have to see management as a discipline, as a science, as an act. And the final way of looking at management is to look at management as the people who do their work in organizations through other people. In other words, they combine resources to reach the vision of the organization through planning, organizing, leading or directing, controlling, and staffing. These people who do these jobs through other people are the people we call the management, because then they have the first level managers who are the supervisors, the second level managers who in some areas are called managers, but they are tactical. And then the strategic level managers who are called the chiefs, you know, like chief executive officer, chief information officer, chief security officer, whatever chief that is associated with this. So we can see that the basic managerial hierarchy includes these 3 levels. But whatever about these 3 levels, they are going to plan, they're going to organize, they're going to lead, they're going to control, and they're going to staff. So these are the different perspectives that we have in management. So I want you to think about this, because I'm going to push you to look at something that is very, very important. And this is it, that we have managerial functions, which we have talked about, to plan, to organize, to lead, to control, and to staff. But a lot of scholars, and me inclusive, think that the number one managerial function, or what you should be looking at as a managerial function, is decision making. That all levels of management must make planning, organizing, directing, controlling, and staffing decisions. So all these things we call functions are actually decisions. And that is why business analytics becomes very important, because decision science is now part of the managerial functions. So if we are going to make decisions, then we have to be able to use decision systems that are intelligent to make those decisions. So business analytics makes managerial decision making not only possible, but easier, faster, and automatic in real time. So for instance, Walmart is one of the biggest retail in the whole world, actually the biggest. And you can't imagine how many people go into a Walmart store in one day. So how can you make decisions, when millions and millions of people are swiping their cards, paying bills, doing all manner of things within that Walmart system? No human being is going to be able to do those analyses because we have cognitive biases and we have cognitive limitations. But our computerized systems are able to do those things, no matter how big the data is. So when we think about this, Evans and Liebner argue that business analytics, therefore, is the next frontier for decision sciences. So if managers, the number one, and if just we want to say the only thing that managers do is to make decisions, whether it's planning, organizing, directing, controlling, or staffing, they are going to be making decisions. Then business analytics is therefore the next frontier for decision sciences. And we have to therefore make sure that it becomes not just a component of what strategic managers do, but it will become a very important or the core component of what managers do. So, and to do that, we must combine certain disciplines to get into what we want to do. And these disciplines would include statistics, business intelligence, information systems, data mining, visualization, simulations, risk analysis, modeling, and optimization. All of these decision sciences must be part of what makes us, how business analytics interacts with management. So this is my idea here, that whichever way we see management, whether we see management as a discipline or a science or an art or a process or a people, business analytics will be there to serve as an adjunct. In other words, it is going to be there to make everything that we are doing in decision science to become easier and more accurate. So that makes this discussion, therefore, very, very important. So let's talk about types of business analytics. There are 4 important types of business analytics. The first one is descriptive business data analytics. Now, what this does is that it probes what has happened and what is happening now. So the question we ask when we do descriptive business data analytics is, what is going on? So we get all of these raw data, which is raw problem or even big problem, and we use descriptive business data analytics to answer the question, what is going on? So in statistical models, that will be descriptive analysis. But in business data analytics is something bigger than that. Because using models like Python and R and all the rest of them, we can come up with descriptive analysis of huge data so that we can see actually what is going on. And sometimes this big data has thousands of columns, not just even tens or hundreds, but thousands and millions of columns. So what do we do with such a huge data? We can, using PCA, to reduce meaningfully huge data into a small space that we can still analyze and get accurate answers. So descriptive analysis is really important. And that's what we do even in the hospital. If we look at the hospital as an organization, when you go to the hospital, especially in the ER, that is where emergencies happen, we have dashboards that tell us about temperature, about pressure, about heart rates, about pulses, and so many things that we need to know. The doctors use this descriptive data analytics to understand the status of the patient and to be able to understand what to do. In business, we do the same thing. We have dashboards that talk about, revenue, that talk about expenses, that talk about cost, that talk about profits, and all the rest of them in real time, so that strategic managers can be looking at whatever is going on. So that's descriptive business data analytics. But the second one is the diagnostic. This diagnostic business data analytics probes why what is happening is happening. So you want to know if you're operating at a loss. For instance, Wall Street has these dashboards all over Wall Street for investors to understand whether they are losing money or they are gaining money. So, and they must understand why whatever is happening so that it can be controlled. If not, global economy will just dissolve. So it is very, very important, therefore, that we have a diagnostic business data analytics that diagnoses what the problem might be. So, and then again, the third one is the predictive business data analytics, which uses historical data to ask what is going to happen in the future. So this predictive business data analytics is therefore very, very important. And we have tools that can make this possible. Then finally, we have the prescriptive business data analytics, which probes what we must do to solve problems. So this brings us to linear modeling, optimization, and all kinds of things that can help us to say, if this is the problem, this is how we are going to solve that problem. So in this slide, I have tried to bring the three most important, the descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive, to put for us the questions we ask, which is in the descriptive, what happened or what is happening; in the predictive, what will happen, why will it happen; in the prescriptive, what should I do, why should I do it? And there are enablers that help us to solve all this problem. In the descriptive, we have business reporting, dashboards, scorecards, data warehousing. All this would help us understand, enable us to understand, to answer that question, what is happening. And the outcome of all of that experiment will be a well-defined business problem and opportunities that can come from that. And when we come for the predictive, we would be able to ask the question, what will happen? And the enablers that help us to answer those questions will be data mining, text mining, web media mining, and forecasting. All of these will help us to predict. And the outcome will be accurate projections of the future states and conditions. And strategic managers must be able to accurately project what is going to happen in the future. And in the prescriptive, we're trying to answer the question, what should I do and why should I do it? And the enablers, what will help us get this done will be optimization, simulation, decision modeling, expert systems. And what will be the outcome will be the best possible business decisions and transactions. Just think about linear modeling for a while and see what linear modeling has done to the world. It gives you infinite possibilities and then gives you the best of the infinite possibilities. And also has given us queuing models, has given us all kinds of models that help us to make important decisions. So we can see that business analytics, just having this overview, is a great thing for a strategic manager. So that's something really important. Right now, I want to show you how business analytics supports every phase of the decision-making process. Because I have said initially that even though there are 5 functions of managers, I want to say that the most important is decision-making process, because that is what ties all of that. But decision-making has to be divided into different phases. There's the intelligent phase, there's the design phase, there's the choice phase, and there's the implementation phase. In the intelligent phase, we want to be able to say, this is the problem that we have. So intelligently taking data from reality and being able to come up with a problem. Once a manager, a strategic manager, understands the problem, not the symptom, then that person is able to find solutions. So the intelligent phase is the ability to scan the environment, whether the internal environment or the external environment, to intelligently state what a problem is. A symptom is not a problem. The treatment of symptom is exaltation of mediocrity. So we have to come to the point that we don't think about just the symptom, we think about the real problem. And that's what the intelligent phase does for us. And to do that, there are many business analytic models that we can use. For instance, we can use artificial neural network, which mimics the biological neurons in order to make informed decisions. So we can use artificial neural networks to do that. We can use management information systems to do that. We can do data mining. We can do online analytical processing. We can do expert systems or ERPs. We can do these things in order to say, this is the problem. Because once you can tell a strategic manager that this is the problem, then the manager is able to start designing whatever solution to do. So that takes us to the design stage. In the design stage, we work hard to come up with multiple alternatives. So like I said, for example, in the optimization of the linear model, we have infinite, not just 1,000 or 1,000,000. We have infinite possibilities, and which means that a strategic manager can choose the optimal, and if the environment changes, then he still has, infinite and useful possibilities in order to solve the problem. So when somebody says something emerged like a pandemic or whatever, and I don't know what to do, it is because the person don't understand scenario modeling. But if we are able to model infinite scenarios, we can then be able to stand any kind of problems that might arise. So this design stage, therefore, is a very important phase in the decision-making process. And when we make a choice out of all these alternatives, then we say we've made a decision. Okay? So to do that, we must have expert support systems. We must have expert systems. We must have customer relationship management science, artificial neural networks. All of these are possible in trying to design and selecting a choice. And then the implementation. Now, there is a difference between decision-making and results. The reason is because the implementation is very important. You might have done all your research and done everything about data analytics. We are putting those data analytics for you to therefore say, this is what I'm going to do. So when we implement the choice, then, and we have a good result, we can say we've solved the problem. So that's why we say decision-making is different from problem solving. So to implement, we also use expert support systems, knowledge management systems, and ERPs. So you can see that all the branches of business analytics will help us in any phase of decision making. So this is very important for us. And here, I want to show you that also using data mining, which is one of the things that I've talked about, can help us to predict, associate, or cluster, and therefore be able to get a problem solved. So under prediction, we can do classification and regression. Under association, we can do link analysis and sequence analysis. Under clustering, we can do outlier analysis. In those days, in our statistics classes, outliers were something that we needed to throw away. However, in business analytics, outliers can be the indication of malfunction, or it can be indication of an opportunity. And so we must be able to understand data mining. And in trying to do data mining, we must have different learning methods. For instance, divide our data into training data, validation data, and also testing data. And there are many, many algorithms that can do this. Classification algorithms, regression tree algorithms, artificial neural networks, support vector machines, genetic algorithms, decision trees, and rough sets, and the rest of them, especially if we're going to do predictions. But when it comes to associations, then we must use a priori, 1R, 0R, and ECLATs, expectation maximizations, and all the rest of them. When it comes to clustering, we use our K-means, artificial neural networks, and expectation maximizations. All of these are business analytic systems that we must use now. Now, remember that these systems, these algorithms that we use, we can also use them in different areas. It's not just in business. For instance, my colleagues and I were able to teach computers how to diagnose 18 diseases from chest x-rays using these artificial neural networks. So it's not just about business, it is also about other areas of knowledge. And this is why business intelligence or business analytics is therefore very, very important, because it can help you to cross disciplines and be able to solve societal problems. So my thinking here is that we can then take business analytics and look at the various areas of management that we talked about before. For instance, business analytics and management as a discipline. How does business analytics impact management as a discipline? So right now, it is very, very important for us to understand that universities can no longer teach business as usual. I did my MBA, I was taught business, but the way I was taught business can no longer hold. And universities that are teaching businesses that way are actually losing, which means that business analytics must become part of your curriculum. So what does that mean? That management is a discipline studied in most universities. However, because of the turbulence and uncertainties in the business world, qualitative methodologies of teaching management are no longer enough. We must add quantitative methods in managerial decision making. But even that, even quantitative methods in managerial decision making is no longer enough. So some universities have also discovered that quantitative methods for managerial decision making has given way to business analytics, because quantitative methodologies in decision making was simply talking about, statistical models and also quantitative models. But now we are talking about machine learning models, deep learning models. So we have added to the quantitative methodologies machine learning models, deep learning models, and other models that are ensembled. Other models that are ensembled, which is going to be really useful. So therefore, what that means is that every university that is represented here must begin to start thinking about Industry 4.0 and how you can train up business people or managers that can be able to compete in Industry 4.0 to Industry 5.0. We can't be taken back to the 3.0 or 2.0 or 1, which they have all passed, okay? So we need a better curriculum for our business studies in the case of discipline. So universities, like I said, can no longer teach business as usual. So what makes business analytics the norm in today's managerial study is this combination of statistics, business intelligence, information systems, modeling, data mining, visualization, simulation, risk analysis, and optimization in solving business problems. So if you don't teach these things in your university, then the MBA has to be, the MBA graduate has to learn these things outside your university. And that's not really cool. And that's why many universities are now adding business into their engineering so that business is no longer standing alone. So businesses have to be part of the engineering so that these decision systems or decision studies or optimization studies or even data mining studies can become part of the business. So this is so important. So in a business world that is in a constant state of flux, these multidisciplinary models of solving problems can no longer be ignored. We cannot ignore them. So Evans and Lidner said something that is very important, and I'm asking questions based on this. If business analytics is seen as the use of data, information technology, statistical analysis, quantitative methods, and mathematical or computer-based models to help managers gain improved insight about their business operations and make better fact-based decisions, then the universities must be ready to train managers who are versed in these areas of study. Managers who do not have competence in these areas cannot be strategic in Industrial 4.0 era. So that's very important. Our training of managers must change. So the acquisition and processing of vast amounts of data generates information which is very complex and not always unambiguous. So Industry 4.0 also assumes that employees will understand both technical needs and those not related to the production process. So this means that the present education system must change if we want our engineers to acquire more managerial skills or our managers to acquire engineering skills. So these things are very, very important for us to understand. So let's go to the second one, business analytics and management as a science. How does business analytics impact management as a science? So this is what Bert Simmers, I hope you know him, he says in the special issue of Management Science informs. This informs is Operation Research or Quantitative Methodologies Association of the United States. So this is where even the military in the United States meet and top scientists in decision sciences meet. But even them have started knowing that management science has to improve or else die. So this is what Bert Simmers says. There is probably no other domain of business that is changing as rapidly as our ability to process, collect, and analyze data, typically at a level that is more granular than even before. Over the last decade, this has enabled entirely new forms of products and services and has transformed how we manage practically every dimension of business. So given this magnitude and the scope of this change, our goal with this special issue, they had to write a special issue of management science that was dedicated to business analytics. So this is very important, that even management science must improve in order for it to survive because of business analytics. So that's very, very important for us to understand. And some people are questioning, like Power et al., they are questioning whether business analytics is a subfield of management science. So they said, is business analytics an emerging discipline, a research area, or a field of study? Is it a subfield of something called data science or management science? But for me, it doesn't matter to me. Now, this is what matters to me. We may not answer the question about business analytics being a subfield of management science, but we can share that for management science to survive the times, it must take business analytics seriously. If not, it will become history. Like so many things that were innovative before became history. For instance, it's talking about total quality management and all the rest of them that used to be great. Today they are just one sub area that we're going to study. So management science could become something like that. So let's talk about business analytics and management as an art. How does business analytics impact management as an art? One of them is this, that employees and managers in Industry 4.0 must have data analytics skills. So Sanyuk says, the development of the Industry 4.0 concept offers completely new technologies, enablers using high level of automation and digitalization. There is a huge challenge for enterprises, not only due to the application of modern technologies, such as Internet of Things, big data analytics, cloud computing, related to the creation of cyber physical systems, but also for a human resource development. So this issue is very important. You can no longer do human resource management without data analytics. That's what this place is saying. So if you were in my university, where we also had human resource management specialization, we can no longer do that until we bring data analytics into the system. So there is a changing skill demand. Industry 4.0 requires changes in employment structure. It also requires changes in educational structure. There are many unfilled jobs, even in the United States, because the population do not have the required business analytics skills to fill the jobs. So the jobs are there in Google, in Amazon, and so many other places, but they don't have the skill, the programming skill, the computer skills, and all the analytical skills that are needed to tell strategic managers what they should be doing. So if you want to train up your MBA to be able to get a job, then you must know there is a changing skill demand. And that is very, very important. When this COVID-19 is over, there is going to be recovery models. And all those models will depend on business analytics skills. And that's why Kugno says, openness to Industry 4.0 is measured by the breadth of the number of technologies adopted. The production recovery is measured by the perception of firms that return to pre-COVID-19 production levels, which will happen either this 2021 that passed, 2022, or even 2023. So we have to train up people that can be able to do these things. So let's look at business analytics and management as a process. How does business analytics impact management as a process? So one of the things that I must say is that organizational processes enabled by business analytics creates sustainable value. And that's what we want as strategic managers. We want sustained competitive advantage. We want value. We want differentiation. We want the ability not to have, we want the ability that will help us to not have cost, too much cost in our business processes. So there are arguments that organizational and dynamic capabilities enabled by business analytics systems can explain how value is created, sustained, and renewed. So these frameworks kind of tell us that, hey, you have to sit up, because if you want sustainable competitive advantage, you must be good in business analytics. So business analytics contributes to organizational performance. We know that large volumes of data, or what we call big data, call for the use of business analytic applications. And these applications have been found to deliver improved performance and sustained competitive advantage. And that's what we need. And also, business analytics advances manufacturing systems. The introduction of business analytics to advanced manufacturing system is a game changer. We know that big data analytics, architectural design are now applied in manufacturing systems. We also know that business analytics in manufacturing is the pathway to market leadership. So there's no way we can just throw this out. We have to do something about it. So in conclusion to this, we would say that it is business analytics that drive agile manufacturing processes. So when you think about even manufacturing, that it is business analytics that is going to drive this. So what about management as an organization? How does analytics impact management of an organization? This is management as a people. So the people that do their business from, through other people. So we have to say that strategic managers must carry out external and internal analysis of the organizations to have sustained competitive advantage. They must design functional, business, global, and corporate level strategies. They must design implementation strategies. Is it possible, this is my question to you, for them to design and implement these strategies without business analytics? It is no longer possible in this Industry 4.0 era. It is not possible. So let me end by just talking to you about some of the applications of business analytics. And I'm just giving you some examples. Churn modeling, which means you model who is going to stay with you as customer or who is not. Market basket analysis, direct marketing, predictive maintenance, geographic distancing, operationalization, medical fraud detection, credit risk modeling, price risk clustering, outlier detection, sentiment analysis, textual analysis, web analytics, natural language processing, language translations in business, genome analysis, healthcare analytics. All of these things show that business studies is no longer what we think they are. So this kind of shows us that there are diverse areas. And of course, this list I have here is not exhaustive. So we can have every area of business, there is something that is going to happen business-wise. As a data scientist, I find myself thinking of every area of knowledge. There is really no area of knowledge where business analytics or data science is not going to be used. Is it medicine? Is it law? Is it religion? I mean, what is it? Is it housing, real estate? Is it education? Everywhere we go, we have huge data flowing into those organizations. And it's important that we know that business analytics will be a very great way for us to solve societal problems and come up with the best decision. All right, thank you. I am stopping here and we'll now wait for your questions. Thank you very much.
Participants can ask the questions.
Yes, please, go ahead.
or you can post it in the chat box also.
Yes, I hope I'm seeing that. Let me see. I'm not even seeing my slide anymore. You see my slide? If somebody's asking a question I'm not hearing.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is my name is Vincent Onodugo. While we wait for questions, I'd like to take this liberty to thank, in a special way, our presenter, resource person, Dr. Stanley Nwoji, professor of Harrisburg University. I want to thank you for that wonderful presentation. That's the comments I've been seeing from colleagues from both universities, both institutions. I want to say clearly that what we've seen today, what we've heard today is just an appetizer. We will certainly take this a lot beyond this.
Yes.
For both faculties of SNJB and University of Nigeria, I'm going to talk with the leadership of SNJB, GMB, and we're going to sit down and structure an in-depth curriculum that'll be able to capture the various aspects of business analytics, from descriptive through predictive to prescriptive. We're going to do something, structure a program that will expose our faculty members and our students to the frontiers of this business analytics. So just take it that we've just been, our appetite has been whetted on to know that this is where business is getting to. So we will sit down and structure a program that will give us in-depth knowledge about this. That's all I can say for now. Once again, I want to thank our resource persons. I want to thank also the coordinator and all the people who have made this to happen. Once again, thank you very much and good morning from my side.
Good morning, thank you. I think there's somebody who raised their hand, Ijoma Ojako.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Please. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Please, I have a question. It's like our dean, who is here present in this program, read my mind and tried to answer part of my question. However, I would still like more light to be thrown to it. And the question is, how do we go about getting this very important aspect of our education become part of our education curriculum in Africa, Nigeria, and University of Nigeria Enugu campus in particular, and then our faculty?
Okay, that's a very good question. I have a plan. And my plan is very simple. I will, if the dean accepts, come periodically to, first of all, to talk with faculty and PhD students, because if this starts happening the way I'm thinking, the PhD students will be able to serve as people who experiment with the tools some of the tools that I will introduce to the university. So that's step number one. The step number two is that the Faculty of Business in University of Nigeria should include business analytics as part of the courses that will be done by the students from the undergraduate level down to the PhD level, because we must train our students from the undergraduate level upwards. And the truth is, whether we like it or not in Nigeria, if we keep training our students without thorough business analytics, then we are going to produce students who are going to retrain, in order to work elsewhere. And even in order to work in Nigeria, because Nigeria is the largest economy in West Africa. So the data that is coming to Nigerian organizations is certainly bigger than any other country in West Africa. And you're not going to be doing manual kind of analysis. So that's, I know that it's going to take some time, but I know that the dean is a very great scholar, and this could be something that he could do in his time as the dean to make sure that this aspect is introduced. Then the other thing I want to say is that when I was doing my MBA, I had a course on quantitative, I don't know what they called it, but something quantitative to decision making and all that. Now, that course, we can actually touch it, to make it stronger, so that management science, quantitative decisions, and data analytics can be specializations that people can have. So I can have that conversation. And then the last thing is that as a visiting professor to the university, I can actually bring together University of Nigeria with Harrisburg University. If Harrisburg University is convinced that what I am doing is a service, they will be willing to, be part of that. So those three areas they are things that I'm thinking about. I don't know whether that answers your question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I'm satisfied.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Stan. Like I mentioned before, we thought we're going to host you in February. Before you come in February, we would have had our plans laid out. That's why I said we're going to do. It takes a whole lot of curriculum engineering that we're going to do that, certainly. We're going to train a lot of people to be able to, before we cascade it down to the degree level, we'll have a critical mass of people who are already exposed and this. So the plan is laid out, and we're going to move forward with this. I'm going to talk with Dr. Bora and Kamash.
Yes, sir.
We're going to sit together to talk about how the institutions will be able to uptake this data analytics, business data analytics to a certain level, and all that. I think what this presentation has done to us is to open our eyes and whet our appetites to know that this is the frontier. This is at the cutting edge of what we're doing. We've been doing manually and traditionally all the while. So we're going to do this, and certainly we're going to keep it. That's why I didn't want us to waste our time to begin to ask, because we're going to certainly move beyond where we have been. So beyond sure, I will talk with the Harrisburg, Harrisburg faculty. I will talk also with the SNJB. Sorry if I don't get it well. And we'll talk with it, and we'll come out with a program that will change the entire curriculum business studies. That's the most I can do for now. I want to tell you, good news is that hopefully, expectedly, Professor Stan will be coming into Nigeria physically in February, and I'm going to be a major host. I usually host him, so we're going to do a lot of things together. Stan, thank you.
Thank you.
Have you. Dr. Kamash and Bora, Dr. Bora, the stage is, yeah.
So it was really a wonderful presentation, Dr. Stan.
Thank you.
And thank you once again for sparing your valuable time and sharing your valuable vista amongst us. So I would hand over to our team for vote of thanks.
Yes, sir.
Shri. Yeah, please.
Now I invite Ms. Neha Kulkarni for vote of thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning to one and all present here. Honorable trustees, respected principal, head of MBA department, all faculty members, most valued invited guests, and all my dear friends. It is such an honor for me to get the opportunity to thank you all dignitaries. I, Neha Kulkarni, on behalf of SNJB's late Sau KBJCOE College of Engineering and entire MBA department together, express my gratitude to all esteemed delegates of webinar for their presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success. I express my gratitude to our most valued invited guest, Dr. Stanley Nwoji sir, to take out time even at midnight to grace the event. Thank you, sir, for your valuable guidance on the topic of business analytics and management. In this great session, sir guided us on what is business analytics, how to differentiate it from data analysis and business intelligence, and what are the different components of business analytics. He thrown a light on what is management and its perspectives. Also, he discussed about what are the different applications of business analytics. Thank you, sir, for sharing this valuable wisdom regarding the present and future research on the intersection of business analytics on management. A special thanks to the Dean of University of Nigeria, Professor Vincent Onodogu, sir, our respected Principal Dr. M.D. Kokate, sir, Vice Principal Dr. M.R. Sanghvi, sir, Head of MBA Department Dr. A.R. Bora, sir, Event Coordinator Dr. U.S. Kasar, sir, who encouraged us for arranging this session and provided immense support to make this webinar a great success. I would like to thank all the faculty members for smooth functioning of this event. I also extend my thanks to all my friends assembled here. Once again, I want to state that we all are most grateful to our resource person, Dr. Stanley Nwoji, sir. We thank you, sir, for being with us this great morning. It's been a great pleasure. Now, I would like to request you all for give your valuable feedback regarding this session. Feedback link we will share with you very soon. And now, I humbly request you all for switch on your cameras for capturing a group picture. Thank you, technical team. Now, with the permission of all respected people, I declare that the session is over. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stan.
So how do we get a picture?
Yeah, I will share with you, sir.
Okay, that's good. All right,
Yeah.
thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Prof.
Yeah, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Professor
Thank you,
Stanley.
thank you,
Thank you. We appreciate.
Yeah, good.
Thank you
Good
so
day.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
Good day, sir.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, bye-bye.